And after a 4-day weekend, me and my boy Ty in Uncensored Sports episode 9. And today we'll be covering a lot of stuff, including Odell's rant against the Giants and much, much more out of the football world. Welcome my counterpart, Tyler. Tyler, say what up to the stream.
What's up? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
So, let us finish up. Let us finish up some of this YouTube work before we get into our topics. Today should prove to be an action-packed show. We got a lot of stuff we're gonna go over. We're taking a different approach this week. We're not gonna go over every single NFL game just because a lot of that was like non-competitive teams, playing non-competitive teams. Like in the future, we will go over a lot more football games, but this week specifically, we're not. We're gonna just go over the games that really caught me and Tyler's eyes. Some of the storylines throughout the week that really caught our eyes as well. So
yeah, we can get started here.
Make sure my thing is on.
Are you talking about the things for the Make sure mine is too, because I happened to make that mistake. Yeah, still I'm always low. Alright, we can get right into it. Are you ready, bro?
I'm ready. Always.
Alright, so let's get into the first topic. I mean, this one plays in a big part for your team. All the starting rookie quarterbacks this week, or last week I should say, this week, they all won. They all went 4-0. The Bills won, the Jets won, the Cardinals won. You know what I'm saying? And the Browns won.
I'm gonna just tell you. I'm gonna just tell you what I seen from these 4 quarterbacks. And I'll go in order. So I'm gonna start with my team, just cause that's that's the starting quarterback who I personally watched more, and I seen more out of. Sam Darnold. This week the Jets, we routed the Broncos, which was something unexpected. I thought even if we won, it would be in a very, close fashion, last-minute field goal, last-second field goal type stuff. And that didn't happen. It was a lot more surprising than that, But Sam Darnold did show improvement again this week from last week, and I think every week he's done a great job of just improving as a quarterback and learning the ins and outs of the position. And I think this week, what was so crucial about this week for him was our offensive line production, Like we got big blocks. Sam Darnold had time to throw the ball. He didn't have happy feet in the pocket. He just really went through his progressions. And another thing I like, and me and you was watching that Jaguars Jets games a couple weeks last week, or rather, and he wasn't throwing whenever he was throwing the ball downfield, he was missing on every single throw. And we're like, big part of football is having that deep throw available whenever you have the chance to throw it. So this week I seen him throw the ball a lot more downfield, and more than that, I seen him connect every single time he threw the ball. More than 30 yards he connected. He had 3 touchdowns for over 30 yards, 2 to Robbie Anderson, 1 to Jermaine Kearse. I seen him making some beautiful, and those throws wasn't even his best throw. It was a 3rd and 12. He threw an out route to Jermaine Kearse. How do you say that? He anticipated the throw really well. He threw the ball way ahead of Jermaine Kearse, so Jermaine Kearse, when he did turn on his route, the ball was right there when he asked for it. It was a great, for me, Sam Darnold, he had, 10 completions on 22 attempts. It's not the greatest game. He threw under 50%, but what you needed to see him improve on, he improved on. He learned from last week. He did throw an interception off of a batted ball at the line. That's gonna happen. You can't really change that. But in terms of me just seeing improvement from a rookie quarterback, my rookie quarterback specifically, then I seen major improvement from him. I really enjoyed what the running game did too. But more so for the rookie quarterback, he's learning, and that's always key in the rookie year. Just about learning and not making the same mistakes twice. I think that's what Sam did. I think he played well. And I think we should be able to see more of this coming up. If the offensive line protects him, you can see what he can do. So that's just Sam Darnold's breakdown for you guys. I believe next week they play the Colts. That's your team, Ty. So Not a great defense, so hopefully Sam Darnold got time in the pocket, you know, to do some things against that Colts defense, that young Colts defense rather. Yeah.
I mean, I like to like you said, last week when we was watching the Jags game, the Jags Jets game, he wasn't completing them downfield passes, but I guess it's a good thing to see that the coaches didn't back away from it because he missed every single one of them. I feel like they kept the pressure going and they kept letting him do that because at the beginning of the season, like you even said, he wasn't doing no large passes like that. They just go as much play calls that he was getting. So
Exactly.
I feel like for him coming up, he's showing that he's more confident. The coaching staff's more confident in him, and hopefully y'all can win. I want y'all to win next week because I don't think we should beat anyone with the team that we got. Seeing how many people are injured.
Yeah. So I mean that, you know, we'll get to that game. We'll preview that game on our Friday edition of Uncensored Sports. And yeah, we made changes to the schedule before I go on with the rookie quarterbacks. We've made changes to the schedule, so we're gonna be streaming Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. Yesterday we didn't stream just cause some personal stuff, but we'll be streaming Monday, Tuesday, and Friday throughout the week. We're gonna take Wednesday and Thursday off just because those days don't really have anything going on sports-wise except for Thursday Night Football. And we'll give you guys a recap of that game on Friday. We won't preview it because just too short notice from when we do our episode on Tuesday. So yeah, that's our new schedule. And like I said, as always on the weekends we stream on our personal channels, TyThaGoat and Novaciane Gaming. They're both in the description. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to those channels. But let's continue with these rookie quarterbacks, Ty. So let me talk about that quarterback out in Buffalo, Josh Allen. Somehow the kid has managed to win 2 games with I don't know how with that team, and he's had a touchdown in both of the games he's won, but numbers don't specifically look well. The offensive line is not solid. He's been really struggling lately, you know, in terms of throwing the ball. Sunday rather, he went 10 and 19, 82 yards, 1 interception, 1 rushing touchdown, no throwing touchdowns, which is key from a passer. You want to see him have a couple throwing touchdowns, you know, at least 1 touchdown a game. You know, I'm not seeing that from him. He looks like he has happy feet, which is to be expected. He doesn't have a great O-line, you know, but well, you know what you get a quarterback in there to do is bring a winning culture. Josh Allen has certainly won 2 games with those Bills that, you know, were supposed to go like 0-5 type stuff, you know, with the kind of receivers that they got and running back, or you know they have Shady, but that's the only good part about their offense, you know, supposedly coming into the season. I think I see improvement from him. Just as the weeks go on, I do see improvement from him. I think more so he just has to be patient with the progress because his team is not built to win. Just like Sam Darnold and just like Josh Rosen, these guys have to be patient with the progress that they're seeing from themselves because their teams are not built to win right now. You know, so as for Josh Allen, I think he has a crazy strong arm. You know, and once he gets a couple deep field threats on the team, probably next year, the year after that, he'll have some big throwing numbers. But I think Josh Allen will be like a Blake Bortles kind of quarterback who will get to him. You know, Josh Allen will probably be a little inconsistent throughout his career, throw a lot of interceptions. I can see that for him, throw a lot of interceptions, a lot of fumbles. You know, he's one of those guys that wants to make the big play every time. You could just tell. He wants to run. We saw a hurdle against the Vikings a couple weeks ago. Yesterday, he ran one in, broke a couple tackles. Not scared to take a hit. He's got a big stature. So, as for him, I've seen some improvement from him. And it's all about keeping it going. And next week, you know, they got a tough matchup. I forgot who they play. Let me see. But I know they got a hard game next week. They play the Texans, who are coming off a win against. They're coming off a win against the Cowboys. But more importantly, the reason why I say the Texans are a hard game, not because of the whole team, but because specifically that pass rush on the Texans, J.J. Watt, Jadeveon Clowney, they pressured Dak Prescott this week. I expect to see more of the same, and even more against this Bills team, who have, like I said, a depleted O-line. So I think Josh Allen will find some struggles next week. But he's been able to put winning games together, and that's all that matters. And I think head coach Sean McDermott is doing a wonderful job. You know, a couple weeks ago we had him on our hot seat list for head coaches, and I think he responded well to that criticism from me because, you know, even though he didn't hear it probably, but you know, I think he responded well to that criticism from everybody though, because they want to see improvement from a young team, even if it don't result in wins, just improvement, and he's actually resulting in wins. So, you know, for that, you know, for Josh Allen, I feel like we've seen improvement, but he's got to get better. You have anything to say about Josh Allen?
I mean, Josh Allen, I mean, I gotta say, because I was watching that game at the beginning, and he actually didn't look that bad. Like, he seemed like he was doing good. I didn't finish watching the game because I ended up switching to Red Zone
Because
watching
it was the
that.
Bills. That's why.
Yeah, it's the
Anyway,
Bills. But nah, I mean, I'm surprised that they even won that game. I mean, especially with the Titans coming off a big win, comeback win. I mean, I feel like he played very well. I mean, at the beginning, the Bills were just doing whatever the fuck they wanted with the Titans. So, but
exactly.
and he ended up. How many touchdowns did they have that game? I think he ran the only one, right?
Yeah, they only had one touchdown, and the rest were field goals to win. So
yeah,
like,
he ran that touchdown, and like that's the first point they got. I think that shit was funny.
But you know, man. And with Josh Allen, it's like you can see the kind of body he has. A body built to be successful in this league. I mean, maybe it's more the mental stuff with him, and just lack of protection with him, because he definitely has the arm. He had the biggest arm out of all the quarterbacks coming out this year. He throws it the deepest. You know, he has kind of the strongest arm. He has the fastest velocity. But it's not all about arm talent. A lot of it has to do with IQ. And the last rookie quarterback that we'll get to, we'll talk about that, because to me, you know, he has the biggest IQ. We'll get to him. But next, I want to get to Arizona Cardinals quarterback, and a quarterback that me and Tyler think has the biggest ceiling out of all the rookie quarterbacks. That's Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen, we seen him last week against the Seahawks. We seen him make some big time throws. This week, he didn't do bad. He just didn't do great. You know, 10 to 25. The percentage got to get better. That's way under. That's like 40%. You know, damn near borderline at 30. So he went 10 to 25, 170 yards, one touchdown. The key part about all these rookie quarterbacks is that they limited turnovers, you know, not multiple turnovers. If anything, they all had one turnover, no fumbles, so they limited the turnovers. That's key. But Josh Rosen specifically, with a running game, with David Johnson, one of the best running backs in the league, you know, he has the defense, the pass rush on that defensive end, and the secondary to be good. I think Josh Rosen has a better team than I anticipated at first. Just the receivers are what's really the problem. And even when you have Larry Fitzgerald, you know, that's the veteran's veteran right there. That's everybody in the league's favorite player type stuff. So with him there, I think Josh Rosen should be seeing improved numbers over. Yesterday, I didn't see the greatest game from him, but he did play the 49ers, so fortunately, they were able to win that game, even with him having an okay game. He did throw in a touchdown, and most importantly, he was the only rookie quarterback this week that didn't have a turnover. So that's key. I like to see that. And I seen him make a couple big, deep throws. The one touchdown to Christian Kirk, second year wide receiver out of Texas A&M. Like, that was a big throw, and I'm like, I didn't think he could make that throw. He threw that so far, so accurate. So man, he has a bright future, and I think this year you're gonna see some of that future flash specifically from him, rather than Darnold and Allen, because those two, like I said, they don't have as much of a supporting cast as like a Baker Mayfield or Josh Rosen. But Josh Rosen, I think you're gonna see some of that potential flash this year. So yeah, I don't know if you have anything to say about Josh Rosen.
All I got to really say is you said this year. I can't wait to see who does in a couple years.
Oh man, that dude's gonna be a problem. And like, and not to be wishy-washy from week to week, but I kind of feel the same way about my QB and Baker Mayfield. The only person I have question marks about is Josh Allen, just because of the team he's around. I don't think they're gonna have any cap space soon, so I don't know if they're gonna be great, you know, anytime soon. I think Josh Allen may have to wait like 4 or 5 years. But in terms of Josh Rosen and Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, you know, Sam Darnold, when you see he has protection, you see what he does. You know, he's able to throw that ball deep. He's able to look through his progressions, complete passes, and when the running game is working, is you see what he can do. But for a quarterback to really be great, you have to be able to go crazy on all facets. You know what I mean? Even when you don't have an offensive line, when your running game is getting stuffed, you know, as a quarterback, you got to be able to play well. So same thing for Rosen. Rosen is going to be a talent, man, in a couple of years, and I can't wait to see that those guys are going to be really good. And then last but not least, the aforementioned Baker Mayfield. This guy's swagger has completely turned around the Browns franchise in 2 games. And I know a lot of people say, well, you know, it's just 2 games. He's won. Well, for the Browns, a team who won 0 games last year, 2 games is all you need to really feel a culture change coming. Baker Mayfield, he has a swagger of a fucking cool kid. Like, he goes out there, he works hard, you can tell he wants to win, he has that demeanor. He may not be the most humble guy, he may talk a lot of trash, but that's the added benefit for having somebody who goes so hard and plays so well on the field. He didn't play a great game, you know, like his numbers were you know, decent, 25 of 43, 343 yards. He throws the ball a lot more than the other rookies, because he has a team to throw the ball. He has a number one receiver, a possible top 10 receiver in the league right now. So, you know, that's key for him winning it. But he threw an interception yesterday. He did have his ups and downs. He played very average yesterday. He didn't have a great game, but he did make a big throw in overtime. You know, running out to his right, he threw across his body, and it was perfect timing, anticipation throw across his body, so hard to make. One of the harder throws I've seen made yesterday. He completed it. That was a very big sign for the Browns fans, like knowing that they got somebody who could complete throws in clutch moments, and they actually won the game in overtime. And as you know, they've lost 2 games in overtime this year, so it was key. Oh, they tied one and they lost one. It was key to see them win in overtime this year. That was good to see. So, yeah, Baker. Do you have anything to say about Baker?
Really, you said it all. I mean, Baker Mayfield, like you say, he brings that swagger to the team and that energy. It's like the energy you could tell just off the first game he even played in the NFL. Well, regular season game, I should say. Like when he played against the Jets, and he just came on the field and made one pass and completely changed the game. Then the next week he comes out and drops 42 points, and then he comes out and wins. So
you can kind of see the culture shift.
Yeah, you can see how and the Browns did such a good job to build this team up this offseason. I mean, they got a bunch of key pieces that are there for a while.
And that's the thing. And that's one of the things that I've always felt with the Browns. It's never really been a talent problem with Cleveland. It's more so been just the head coaching or not being able to not being able to put the action on the field. Like, you know, they always had a solid team.
Yeah.
But now this year they got a solid team and an actual good quarterback who can lead that solid team. You know, am I saying the Browns are going to win a Super Bowl this year? No, they're a couple years away from that. But they have a great defense. And Baker Mayfield, believe it or not, is not the most impressive rookie on the Browns. Their rookie cornerback, Denzel Ward, who they drafted number 4 overall, he has had a turnover. He has 5 turnovers already this year. That's insane. Through 5 games, he has 5 interceptions already, and that's something you want to see from a guy like him. He has the potential to be kind of a ball hog, like an Ed Reed back there, because he has kind of a big body for a corner. So, I mean, Denzel Ward has been playing great. That whole team, really. Myles Garrett gets after the quarterback. 2nd in the league in sacks. He gets after the quarterback a lot. So, they have a lot of star pieces on that team, and not to mention their wide receiver, who I mentioned, Juice, Jarvis Landry. He goes crazy. So, yeah, but, you know, these rookie quarterbacks, you know, we got to stress again that these rookie quarterbacks, you know, they're only rookies. You know what I'm saying? No matter what their age are, they're seeing the NFL for the first time in their life. So, you know, it's key to give them time and just let them progress as rookie QBs. But I think once they get their feet under them, they'll be really good. So that's it for the rookie QBs. We'll keep you guys updated every week on those QBs specifically, because they're rookies. We want to let you know what their progression is looking like. But what's the next topic, Tata?
Alright, let's get into Adam Thielen, who's had 5 games with 100+ yards receiving. I think that's crazy.
You want to get into it, or you want me to get?
You can go start.
Like, it's crazy. What he has? 47 receptions, 589 yards.
I know he's second in receiving yards.
Yeah, he's 589 yards, 3 touchdowns, 47 receptions for Adam Thielen. Like, last year was when he first showcased his real talent. You know what I mean? Like, it's when he had Case Keenum at that time. And Case Keenum, as you're seeing this year, Case Keenum is not the most reliable QB. And he put those numbers up with Case Keenum. The important thing to recognize here is that Stephon Diggs, he draws a lot of attention on the other side. You know, so Adam Thielen, he gets those catches and those receiving yards a lot, mostly due in part because Stephon Diggs is getting clamped up on the other side by, you know, two corners or a safety in the corner. So it's kind of hard for Kirk Cousins to hit Stephon Diggs. But nothing away from Adam Thielen. He's a great route runner. He has the potential to go deep. We've seen that this year. He's been excellent. And I think this year he's definitely going to be on a Pro Bowl roster. He probably is going to be all-pro first team at wide receiver. He's just playing that good a ball. And Kirk Cousins has a reliable target. You know, something he didn't really have in Washington. He has somebody he can go to when Stephon Diggs is clamped up, you know what I'm saying? Or Dalvin Cook can't get the ball running. But it's key for Adam Thielen to have Kirk Cousins as well. You know, it's a match made in heaven. You have an actual good quarterback who can make some of those big throws, and that's really key for Adam Thielen and his progression. Like Tyler said, he has 5 straight games of 100+ more yards. So, and Traffic says All Pro. Like I do think that that's a possibility for Adam Thielen. Like just because of the catches I know he's gonna get because of Stephon Diggs, taking up so much of the attention. Adam Thielen has a chance to be an All Pro this year, and a Pro Bowler as well. So that's how I feel. How you feel about that, Tom?
I mean, I feel like you said last season he had a decent season. He started to show that he could be that guy. But like coming into this season, no one thought of him as being like the top receiver in the league. Like no one thought of him like AB, Odell, or DeAndre Hopkins. No one thought of him like that. But because they have Stephon Diggs, and like you said, he might be the best receiver on that team, Stephon Diggs. So for him not to even be the best receiver on this team and still put up these numbers, I think is really a big accomplishment.
And I think we should stress that I'm not comparing him to D Hopkins or OBJ or even AB.
Yeah.
Like I'm not comparing him to those guys. Those guys are on a level of their own. Them guys, including Julio, they're on a level of their own. Like so, Adam Thielen is in no way on the level of Odell or Julio or AB. But what he is, he's a formidable receiver who this year is reaping the benefits of having an All-Pro receiver on the other side. Stephon Diggs got a big contract. Last year that Minnesota Miracle that when they beat the Saints in the conference game, that was crazy.
Bullshit on that.
That was crazy. Like so, I don't know where Adam Thielen goes, from this point on, but I know that Kirk Cousins has 2 great receivers in Minnesota who are going to carry that team to a lot of wins this year. I believe it. So I think that's it. Unless you got anything to say about Adam Thielen.
No, I think you basically covered it all. I mean, hopefully continues this. He's on track to make some great numbers for the season. Definitely all pro.
For sure.
But I mean, there ain't not really else to talk about. But alright, let's get into the next topic. Is Green Bay Packers kicker missing 4 field goals and an extra point. That's all in one game. I think he missed like 3 or 4 in the first half.
He missed 3 in the first half.
I can't remember how many.
He missed 3 in the first half.
I'm like, yo, that's crazy. I mean, and they only lost by, how much did they lose by? I think it was 11? I could be wrong there. I think it was 11. But I feel like that really cost them the game because I don't know if you've seen any part of the game, but I was actually watching it, and every time he missed a field goal, you should have just seen Aaron Rodgers' face, bro. And just everyone was like, bro, okay, you missed the first one. Don't miss the second one. Okay, you missed the second one. Everything after the second one was totally uncalled for. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know what you do with that. Do you think he's going to you think he should lose his job for that?
No. Mason Crosby has been one of the more reliable kickers in the league for the better part of 7 years. So, for me, I don't think he should lose his job. I just think that here's what I got to say about the situation in general, right? It's not a gimme anymore. Field goals and extra points are not gimmies anymore. And I think that scouts on every team have to make sure they evaluate these kickers, real hard before they bring them on the team. A lot of teams got away with bringing in an okay kicker because they're expecting them to hit the field goal from 30 or from 40. It's not a gimme anymore. Those kicks are kicker is a real skill position. If you don't have a skilled kicker, your team is at a true deficit because you'll have to go for it a lot or miss a lot of field goals. But one thing about
saying about the Browns.
The Browns a different situation. I don't know who's their scouts or their GM or
And he ended up winning the game for him too.
John Dorsey gotta go find. Shit. Right, I know, right? I don't know. He made it because they blocked it. That's my opinion. But but what I did see from Green Bay in terms of Mason Crosby missing those, I did see Aaron Rodgers go talk to him after the game, put his arm around him and say, "Look, it's okay." Look, but for Mason Crosby, even though he's been a great kicker for his whole career, it's unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? They lost the game by 8 points. He missed 13 points worth of kicks. Yeah. He missed 13, but that's a win.
That when you're done.
That's a win. So you can't put your team in positions to lose like that. And for Detroit, Detroit started that game great, but the fact that you let them get within 8 points after being up 24 that's ridiculous. And so, but kudos to the Green For Green Bay, you go into next week thinking if we would have just made a couple field goals, we would have won that game. So, you know, kudos to Green Bay for even putting themselves in a position to win. As for Mason, Mason's going to rebound. I don't expect him to have another... I don't even think he's going to miss a field goal next week just to prove a point. Like, he's a really good kicker in this league.
Hopefully he doesn't.
You know what I'm saying? And as you know, Vinatieri had a 50-yarder, and he missed a 30-yarder. Like, you know how this game goes. You know how kickers, you know how kicks can be off sometimes. So, 5 times was a lot, but... You know, that's crazy. He's won too many games for Packers for it to be a big deal. And that's how I feel, too. That's how I really feel, too. Like, he's done so much for Packers in terms of, you know, Super Bowl and playoff games. He's been so clutch throughout all of that. You know, one bad game, you know, and that's what it was. It was just a bad game. It shouldn't be the end-all, be-all for Mason Crosby. He'll rebound. I'm for sure he'll rebound and hit a couple next week.
I feel you. I feel like it's just bad timing for it with all the problems that they're already having with, I guess, the Aaron Rodgers coaching problem. To then it's not a problem to everything. But
no, yeah, that team has definitely been. Yeah, that team has definitely been struggling with Aaron Rodgers being injured and no running game. Randall Cobb was out yesterday, like missing one of their biggest receivers. There's just a lot of stuff going on over there. So I understand what you're saying about the timing of those missed field goals. But, you know, never doubt Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers will come back. He'll be better than ever. So, I think they'll be better next week. Let's move on to the next topic.
All right, let's talk about how James Conner had a huge game against the Falcons, and they won.
Who? Let me stop. You talking about Le'Veon?
Oh.
Let me stop.
Nah, bro. I don't even know who that is, man. I don't even know where he's sitting.
Yeah, me either, bro. Anyway, like, James Conner's, that was a surprise to me. As a matter of fact, I want to let you get started with this one.
What do you want me to say? I mean, it's not really surprised. Damn, he hit that. It's not really surprised. I mean, it's not like he didn't have he had a huge first game, too. They didn't end up winning that against the Browns Saturday. I don't know how you reached the Browns, but they lost. Well, they didn't lose. They tied. But, I mean, after all the talk of Le'Veon say coming back, I think maybe he's trying to prove a point. Listen, play me. I don't know.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
I don't believe it either. But listen, I mean, if he could play like this, he doesn't have to play like this all the time. If Le'Veon comes back and they have a reliable backup for Le'Veon when he goes out and he plays, if he, you know, because fucking players take breaks. But like, if he can come in and damn. I was trying to be nice.
No. Let's get real. Le'Veon's not coming back next season to the Steelers. I don't think so, at least. And
no, you know, you're right. I'm talking about like I'm talking about
when he does come back. Yeah, and I know.
Yeah,
I know you're talking about. James Conner is gonna be definitely great. But I guess I'm a believer in James Conner after Sunday's game. And I feel like he can run the ball in between the tackles really well. I feel like he has that extra gear when he gets in space. I do think that James Conner is the future for the Steelers at running back. And yesterday he showed us a different side of himself that we haven't seen the first 4 weeks, which is that he can pass catch out the backfield. He had 4 catches, 75 yards. That's something special, man. He had 110 rushing, you know, 70, or what was that, 75 the catching. That's 180 yards from scrimmage. So I think James Conner is going to be a really good player in this league. Maybe not the type of level, not even close to the type of level that Le'Veon is. But if the Steelers can get that kind of production, even half of that from him every week, they'll be a solid team. You know, they'll be a formidable team even next year. And they should expect more because James Conner is really a good running back. And I'm surprised that he's keeping it going this long. It's not like he's had a couple bad games, but he's had mostly good games. He's done mostly good things. He can pass block. He can run. You know, he can catch out the backfield as you've seen yesterday. So that's really key. I guess I'm a believer in James Conner now, but in no way I'm saying he's better than Le'Veon. I think Le'Veon still holds that crown.
Oh, no, I don't think y'all damn sure don't think he's better than Le'Veon. I'm just saying that I think he can thumb off the sideline and put in valuable minutes whenever Le'Veon takes a break mid-fucking drive, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like he'll be a valuable asset through the rest of the season, even when Le'Veon is back.
Yeah, and that's true. That, like, now that you know he can catch out the backfield, some of those two running back sets that you want to run, like, you can always do that. You can always keep 2 in the backfield. James Conner's a bigger running back than Le'Veon Bell, like weight-wise. So you can have him play fullback some plays. You can use him in can use him in multiple different ways. So, yeah, I like the way James Conner played. It was inspiring, and that's all that matters for the Steelers now. Again, wins. They got a big win up in Pittsburgh and Heinz Field. those terrible towels were out, and they beat a really good team in Atlanta who's missing some key defensive pieces. So, but that was a really good game by the Steelers. They showed us that they're still that offensive juggernaut that we're used to seeing every single year. So that was really big for them to come and win that game like that.
I would agree. I mean, especially with a blowout one, that was crazy.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. Yeah, me and you both.
Yeah,
me and you both.
I ain't expecting to put 41 on them. That was disrespectful.
I actually had the Falcons winning. That game, which is crazy.
I don't know. It was horrible. They got washed, but
who needs Le'Veon, right? Them niggas probably feeling themselves this week. Le'Veon.
You gotta have, now you could take a couple more weeks. You feel me?
No. Come back week 12. Week 12 is a good time. You feel me?
Week 12, because then by that time we realize James Conner ain't it, so
James Conner probably be cut by that time. Yeah, you gonna be good. You have your spot right back.
Yeah, right back. We won't be talking shit.
Right.
You feel me?
We may cut it short and sweet. So,
let's get on to the next topic. And you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. So, how you feel about the Dolphins? Because I know you said you had something for that. Let's hear what you feel about the Dolphins.
I got you. Let me tell you how I feel about this trash can of a team. Now, let me stop. I mean, well, as you know, after a 3-0 start, the Dolphins, they come back down to earth, really. You know what I'm saying? After getting obliterated by the Patriots last week, they travel, to Paul Brown Stadium to get that matchup in with the Bengals. And, they saw early success. They took a 17-0 lead at the beginning of the third. But, I mean, the Bengals in that high-octane offense, they came storming back. Andy Dalton has really proved something to me this year. And that defense, and not enough has been said about that Cincinnati defense in the second half, only allowing 3 points in the whole half, which I think came on the first possession. It's been really crazy how they've been playing this year. Marvin Lewis has his team playing really, really well. And, that's crazy because as many times as he should have been fired over his career, about 5-6 different times his name came up in a hot seat. He still maintained his job over a decade, 2 decades now. So it's really crazy how he's done that. But Miami, I think it came down yesterday to conservative play calling by Adam Gase. He didn't give Ryan Tannehill a chance to throw the ball. And usually I blame Tannehill because Tannehill's not a good quarterback. I'll say that until my face turns red. He's not a good quarterback at all, and I don't believe in him at all. But I would blame this one on Adam Gase, the offensive. He's the head coach, but he's also the offensive play caller. He didn't put them in a position to win. They got too conservative after they took only a 17-0 lead. You get conservative when you take a 31-0 lead. You only up 17. That's 2 touchdowns in a row. You get a field goal here, and bro, that's a tie game right there. And as you see, since he made it look like that, and in fact, they beat him by 10 points. So it was a how you say that? It was a message to the Dolphins of how they got to keep playing aggressive throughout the game. Their offense is really fast. That's Kenyon Drake. They have a really fast offense, Kenny Stills. So they have a really, really, really speedy offense, and I think that they can win some games this year. But I don't know. They're coming back down to earth real fast, and if Adam Gase don't make some changes real fast at offensive play calling, they can see themselves 3-3, and that'd be a shame because they started the season like I said 3-0. So.
Man, that'd be crazy because I know you had them winning last week too.
I did, and when they went up 17-0, shoot. Right, when they went up 17-0,
you know what? That's another upset. I'm nice at this. I'm about to start doing that shit for money.
Hey, you heard me? I'm right. You feel me? I had the Browns winning. I had the Browns winning that game. You feel me? I had the Dolphins winning. Look, I almost got both of them. But look, the Dolphins are the Dolphins. That's what you expect. I thought the Browns was gonna choke for a minute, but Baker had started something new over there, so. I don't know, but
he started something new.
He started something new over there, getting me tight or not. But look, the Dolphins, I think they lose next week. I think they're gonna find themselves 3-3, and I think they're gonna have a losing record. But it just all depends how that head coach.
That shit would be crazy.
Yeah,
we was talking up about them last week. Just last week type shit. He was talking they shit about that nigga.
Right, but
those niggas, I should say.
Yeah, right. But Adam Gase has to do a better job making those play calls. Too short to pass. A lot of screen calls. When you do too many screen calls, every team is not the Jets. A lot of teams catch on to those screen calls and try to stop and make adjustments. So you can't keep doing that all game. It's not going to work. So, yeah, that's how I feel about the Dolphins. I know you don't have nothing to say about that trash can of a team.
I'm surprised you had so much to say.
We thought that was going to cover a minute and whatever.
Yeah, I was like, shit, he's still going there? I'm over here ready to start the next one. Anyway, let's get into the next one. You know how you feel about Ryan Tannehill? That's exactly how I feel about Blake Bortles. And he He proved me right. The bitch had 5 turnovers last game.
Oh, that's it?
How you have?
He usually got 7 plus.
Yeah.
Let me see.
After niggas was just talking shit about the Chiefs defense.
Yeah.
And saying that they're not that good of a defense. They forced 5 turnovers.
That was impressive.
I mean,
that was impressive.
That is very impressive that he can complete 5 passes, 4 passes to the other team. I didn't know. I didn't even know that was possible. That's just crazy. Nah, but I mean, Jacksonville's a great defense. I mean, I didn't expect them to lose by that much. Even like that's crazy. I mean, I don't know who did you have winning this game, bro? I can't remember.
That Chiefs had the Chiefs winning.
Oh yeah, Chiefs. We both had the Chiefs, but I didn't think it was gonna be by a 2-touchdown win. I thought it was gonna be more like a field goal type win. I just didn't think that Blake Bortles was gonna contribute that much of an effort for the Chiefs to lose that game. I mean, he had 430 yards, but he threw 4 interceptions and he only threw 33 for 61.
Well,
so
as I like to say, Blake Bortles, well, he pulled the Blake Bortles. You know, last week, coming off a great performance against, you know, the Jets. You know, he threw the ball wherever he wanted to. He got the yardage he wanted to. You know, although a lot of it was short passes, you know, he still completed those passes, you know. This week he comes out and, bro, the simple throws, he's making them look like it's rocket science, and that's the problem. And this is where I feel like Jacksonville messed up in the offseason. You give it a contract extension to Blake Bortles. We're not talking about Aaron Rodgers. We're not talking about Andrew Luck. We're not talking about the elites. We're not talking about Matty Ice. We're not talking about any of these guys. You pay him. You pay him. Like, out of anybody, like this offseason, we had Kirk Cousins, a guy who you see is striving with the Minnesota Vikings this year. Case Keenum, I'll have Case Keenum rather than Blake Bortles. That guy right there is something different. You had Teddy Bridgewater on there. You could have picked any amount of quarterbacks you wanted, but you gave a contract extension to Blake Bortles. Yo, the interception he threw, like, yo, it's like Tyler said it right. It's like he handed the ball off.
Which one of the 4? Which one of the 4?
The one way he threw it to
many of them.
The D lineman. I don't know how you throw an interception to a D lineman, but he threw it to a D lineman somehow, and he ran it like, bro. It was like that he really thought the team with the other color was his receiver. I don't know like what goes through his head, but I can't put none of the blame on Jacksonville's defense. You know, they're the first team to force an interception on Patrick Mahomes. They got 2 off him.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But when your offense is putting you on the field so fast and you're not getting no chance to rest, I expect what I saw. Like Kareem Hunt got the ball rolling early on. Tyreek Hill burnt Jalen Ramsey on one of those plays, and they was beefing during the week. They was beefing at each other. That was fun to see, a little fun matchup and a friendly matchup.
Jalen Ramsey started that game high. He really had Tyreek Hill on.
Yeah, he was on lock at first, and then when I see Tyreek Hill beat him, I'm like, and that's a nice little friendly matchup that I expect to see for years to come in the AFC, man. Like that's and I like how both of them was jawing at the lips before the matchup, and then after they both have a mutual respect for each other, and that's what we need to see more in the NFL. Just a mutual respect for each other. Jalen Ramsey and Tyreek Hill, 2 premier stars in this league, one at cornerback, one at wide receiver. I think they're both going to be great, you know, in their respectable teams, in their respectable positions. So that was crazy. But Blake Bortles, man, he just has to be better. He's so inconsistent. He can have a great game against the Patriots, come back, have a bad game against his person, then he come back the next week, have a great game against the Jets, and then come back and have a bad game against the Chiefs. And it's like, you got to be a model of consistency. That's why Drew Brees, the person who you seen break one of the biggest records of all time last night, that's why this is where you see how great he is, because he's so consistent. You know, you don't see Peyton Manning or Tom Brady have an off season. You see him have an off game here, then 10 good games, and then an off game. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the level of consistency you need to see, especially to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, especially to be a starting quarterback of a Super Bowl contender. So he has to get better, and that's all I can say about Blake Bortles. Just has to get better at the position.
Yeah, I feel like the Jaguars are extremely underperforming this season. I felt like they were going to be so much better. Especially to start off, a couple of those games I thought they were going to win. Especially like the Titans game, I thought they would win that one.
Yeah,
and it comes down to the offense just putting points on the board at this point. Because I feel like they could have won this game. It wouldn't have been easy. And even if they were to lose, I felt like it should have been a close game. It shouldn't have been a 15-point loss.
No,
I'm
not
looking
even
at
close.
maybe a 2 or 3.
They went down 20-0, which was really surprising because the Jaguars defense went a lot. But I get it. Like when Blake Bortles is not giving you a chance on the offensive side, you got to come back on, on defense really fast, and you get gassed earlier. It's a shame, but I'm one of those rare people who actually do believe Blake Bortles can find a rhythm. He just has to be consistent with his accuracy, like, and that's what it comes down with him, accuracy. He threw the ball off the helmet at one point, like, shit. The Jets, the Jets got the butt fumble. That gotta go up there too. How you throw the ball off your lineman's helmet? The nigga not jumping. He's standing in the same place he been at every single play. There's no way. Like, there's no way.
I mean, I don't know. If you're gonna throw 61 passes, you gotta at least complete 40. I mean,
yeah, I like to think. You would think that a quarterback would throw 40. But
So, I mean, that's really that. Blake Bortles, he needs some improvement. Which you're a firm believer. You're on your own on that one.
I believe Blake Bortles can get it together. I've seen him play in some pretty big games. He's played well in those games. I just want to see him be a little more consistent. That's it. Yeah, that's it for Blake Bortles.
All right, all right, bro. I gotta see how you feel about Jason Garrett punting it on fourth and 1, I think it was, in overtime.
Yep, it was one of the games.
Whatever it was.
Yeah, it was 4th and 1. It was one of the games that I watched from front to back. I could tell you the decision made. Me in that position, I would have went for it, because you got Zeke. Zeke is one of those guys. He's not a first contact guy. You can't bring him down with one person. And I think Zeke would have got that.
Zeke wasn't having the best game.
No, he wasn't. But you gotta trust. You gotta trust. Look, first of all, they have something that they implemented because they have a running quarterback. It's called the read option, the run pass option. You can put Zeke. You can line Dak up and shotgun. Put Zeke right next to him. You can run the read option. It's very hard to stop. Run perfectly is very hard to stop. You could have went to any. I disagree with Jason Garrett, but more importantly, Jason Garrett is an unexciting kind of guy. His offense is really boring. They don't go for big plays often, unless it's not planned, like Dak Prescott running out the pocket and throwing the ball, to whoever, and just luckily a receiver catching it like he did with Allen Hurns. They don't have an exciting offense. They don't take no shots downfield. And when Zeke is not getting it going like he did, he had 53 yards. Like,
how are they gonna take? Like, who are they gonna take that shots downfield to? I mean, their receiving core is the best. And that's why, I don't completely blame him for making that call, because at that time the defense was playing amazing. I mean, you watched the game. You seen the defense was playing pretty fucking good. I mean, I don't know.
They have Tavon Austin. Tavon Austin, since coming out of West Virginia, he's been one of the fastest players in the league. You want to talk about downfield? That's specifically what you got with this team right here. They may not be the best set of route running receivers, but if you want to ask me what this team right here specifically got, they got deep field threats. Or Tavon Austin. You know what I'm saying? They got Deontay Thomas coming from the Bills last year. He's a big guy. You can throw, like, he can get that ball if you throw it up to him. So these guys are not like, guys who can't go downfield with it. It's all about catching the ball. It's all about putting the ball there. I just don't think Dak Prescott can execute any of those deep field throws. I've seen him make a couple. I haven't seen him make too many. And I think for him, the accuracy would just be off. Yesterday, or Sunday night, they followed a plan that we want them to follow. Run the ball. But if Dak Prescott can't capitalize off Zeke running the ball, even if it's 1 or 2 yards, then that plan is going to be failed from jump. Jason Garrett, he has to play to win right there, though. The Cowboys needed a win. You look at the record 2-2, they needed a win. That was a chance for them to take a lead on everybody in the NFC East. The Redskins got smashed last night. The Giants lost on a losing field goal. And the Eagles lost to the Vikings. You have a chance to take the lead in the NFC East, which you may not have that chance again. But they blew it, and they blew it to a team that wasn't specifically playing well. One thing I would say about Dallas, their pass rush is relentless. They have pass rushers at the left end, at the defensive end. They have D tackles who can pass rush. Their defense is really good. So if their offense can get it going, I still believe in the Cowboys moving forward. But I do not agree with that call. I think Jason Garrett should be fired. Not based off the call, but just based off everything he's put out. The production just hasn't been there from the team. I think they need a coaching change ASAP. He's just not the guy for that team. New coordinators as well. So I don't know. But you agree with it, like you said. Just tell me why you agree with it, though.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with it because, like I said, the defense was playing pretty fucking good. Like you said, you gotta put the ball in. You gotta trust your offense. Shit, sometimes you can trust your defense too, and I feel like that was a good time to trust the defense. I mean, that time they forced a few punts in the second half. I mean, that second half defense they played was great.
I know
They
how well that defense was playing, but it comes down to like look at the receiver. Like you said, there's only one person who has more receiving yards than Adam Thielen. It's DeAndre Hopkins, and there's not a cornerback. DeAndre Hopkins was getting the best of cornerback Byron Jones all game. So like DeAndre Hopkins could run a go route and beat him on any time, and that could be game over right there. But I do agree with you. Like, you know, what Jason Garrett did was show faith in his defense, but that panned out badly. And you know, you can't second guess that after it happened.
But like, I think this whole situation is overhyped. I don't think it's that big of a deal, honestly, because just like a couple weeks ago when we played the Texans and we went for it on fourth. So we weren't supposed to go for it, but they're supposed to go for it.
Because
I don't know.
You guys weren't supposed to go for it because I guess expectation. They don't expect you guys to win a lot of football games. So, you know, if there's a chance that you guys can even fucking tie a game, you know, that's a win for you. You know, that's what the public thinks. For the Cowboys are supposed to be good this year. And I think the reason why this situation is getting so much hype is because Jason Garrett has really done a horrible head coaching job the last 3 years. Even the year when that came in and they went to the playoffs, they've done a real bad job. They've done a real bad job with everything. So, you know, that's that.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like that call could go either way because we wouldn't be sitting here talking about this if he made the right decision and they don't lose. So I don't know. That conversation we can go either way. Like I said, I feel like the defense played very well in the second half. I don't know. But like, I see what you're saying. I agree with both sides. But let's get on to the next topic.
Let's get it.
The second undefeated team, the Rams, improved to 5-0, and they're one of the two teams that are undefeated. Them and the Chiefs. This is their best start they've had in the last 17 years. Bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, that offensive firepower they have is crazy, especially with Jared Goff leading the league in passing yards. I mean,
I don't know. I can attribute it. I can attribute it to a guy who's not even playing on the field. The head coach Sean McVay has changed the culture for, you know, the old St. Louis Rams and the new LA Rams. You know, he's changed that culture. He's gotten Jared Goff playing great ball. He's gotten that defense playing really good. Everything seems to be on point with the Rams. Cornerback position from all phases of the defense, they're all playing well. And Ndamukong Suh and Aaron Donald, who I felt like wouldn't mesh at first, they're like best friends now. I've seen them on the sideline doing handshakes. It's really great ball they're playing, and I know that you're like, when is it going to stop? I don't really see it stopping either, but, you know, I will give kudos to that Seahawks team who competed to the very last possession. Like, they competed with that Rams team, and the Rams, if they have one weakness, is injuries. You know, they still missing Aqib Talib in the back. That's why they're getting, like, you know, thrown against back there. And they do play a lot of man coverage, so a lot of these corners are left on an island against these big-time receivers. So, you know, but the Rams, I don't see no end in sight, rather. Like, that's just...
Especially offensively.
Oh, man, they're a juggernaut offensively. Todd Gurley goes crazy, bro. He's MVP. I would like to put him in my MVP candidates now because he just does so much for everybody. You know what I mean? He does so much in terms of everything: pass block, catch out the backfield, run the ball. When one part of his game is not working, he can make it work with another part of his game. That's what's so key about Todd.
I mean, even though Jared Goff had 2 interceptions in that game, they're still playing out of this world offensively.
Jared Goff had 2 interceptions, and we didn't talk about that with Mahomes. Mahomes had 2 interceptions too. You know, but you know what they do? They make the big plays when needed, and their defense can pick them up when they're down. So that's important to have a great defense along with your offense.
There wasn't really much to say about them besides them just playing great football.
Yeah, they're great.
I know.
So,
I mean, like you said, they got a great coaching staff. They got the talent offensively, and they also got talent defensively once everyone's healthy. So
exactly. And then we have, I think we have one more topic.
I think we got a couple more topics actually.
Okay.
Let's talk about Drew Brees breaking the all-time passing record.
I don't want to talk about
passing
that.
yards, I should say. And that's tough.
Who do you mean?
I like Drew Brees, so
Who'd he pass,
You want me
Ty?
to call him what you called him?
Who'd he pass?
You want me to
Call him what you
called him?
Call him what you called him. Yeah, do that.
Nah, you.
Nah, come on, bro. Come on, call him what you called him.
Peyton, bro.
Go, yeah.
You funny.
Hey, Peyton Manning.
He passed Manning. He passed Manning. Yeah, he passed Peyton Manning for the all-time most passing yards in the NFL. My thing is, right, I don't think this is really, I don't think the actual record is a big accomplishment. I feel like all the surrounding factors surrounding him is the accomplishment. I mean, for him to be 6 foot, he's undersized for a quarterback. He's doing what he's doing. I mean, he came back from a career-ending shoulder injury that could have kept him. He could have never played again. And it's just all the things that he's done. I mean, like, even when he won the Super Bowl, I think he beat some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in that run in the playoff. I mean, he beat Brett Favre, Kurt Warner, and who else he beat? Who did he beat in the Super Bowl, Brett? I don't even know why I'm saying it like I'm talking shit. I don't know why I'm talking shit about it.
I know, like, that's your favorite quarterback too. But
the play is my team, nigga. Like,
but
he beat Peyton too. It's like,
let me get out my soliloquy real quick about Drew Brees, and this one's gonna be from the heart. With Drew Brees since getting traded from San Diego, where he finally got a shot with New Orleans, he's been everything they've asked him for. After Katrina, Drew Brees was a big part, donation-wise, like fundraising-wise, in getting that back up. That stadium was down. The Saints were down as a franchise. They picked themselves back up, and in large part due to Drew Brees and the contribution he made at quarterback. He's such a great quarterback, but even more than that, he's a great person who deserves this record. Not a lot of people I'll say that for, because Peyton was my guy. You know that how much I love Peyton. Peyton is my favorite quarterback of all time, my favorite football player of all time. But Drew Brees is up there with my favorite players of all time. The arm he has, and as you said, he changed the game for undersized quarterbacks. Russell Wilson now has a future in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Baker Mayfield now has a future in the NFL. Paved the way by Drew Brees, the guy who's been there consistently up in yardage every year. 70,000 yards is a lot of yards, bro. Like, that's a lot of yards to have for someone, who really didn't get their career started to 2004, 2005. So.
And I think the best thing that he said last night after he broke the record, after the game, he said, I forgot exactly what he said, but he basically said he's not done. I mean, and that's crazy to think, because he's 39 years old. Who knows how much longer he can play?
It brought a tear to my eye. It brought a tear to my eye when he went to his kids and he said, you can accomplish anything if you work for it. Like, you can accomplish anything if you work for it. That, and that's a message that his kids will always remember, seeing their father break this kind of record. Like, it's not like he broke the record and now it's time to retire. Because when Manning broke the record, he broke it in the beginning of his last season, or his second to last season. And 1 year later, he was done. I don't think that's going to be the case with Drew Brees. I think Drew Brees still got 3 to 4 more years left in him of solid football before he really deteriorates. I think he's going to be great, man. But, shout out to Drew Brees. Sorry for the noise in the background, but Drew Brees, man, just one of the consummate professionals in this sport, man. He's just such a good person. He has a good heart. He does so much for his community. He has a Super Bowl ring. And, if I want to see somebody do it, I don't have a lot of teams I root for in the NFL, but if I want to see somebody do it, it'd be the Jets. And then right after that, I would love to see Drew Brees get another one.
The Colts.
No. Okay, no. Anyway, I want to see. I just want to see. I want to see Brees hold another Lombardi trophy. I think he's one of those quarterbacks who honestly deserve another one. He's worked his tail off, so for sure. I mean, congrats to Drew Brees.
I think another part, like I said, there's so many things that play a part in all his success right now, like, that just add on. I think the him breaking this record is just another page to the book. But I mean, like you said, he can play another 3-4 years. That longevity is crazy.
He's getting those TDs soon. He's getting that TD record soon too. So
I mean, he's one touchdown away from 500, I think. So
he's getting that soon.
So I mean, he's gonna be right up there. I don't know. I mean, where do you put him? I mean, people are talking about putting him up there with Brady and Peyton, and then they don't think they should. Where do you put him?
I'll just tell you my top 5 in terms of all-time quarterbacks. I got Peyton. I got Brady, and I'm not gonna put A-Rod on there because accolades are not there yet. And this is just whole careers and together. I got Brady. I got Peyton, Brady, Montana, and then I'll put Breeze in those last two. You know what I'm saying? I'll put Breeze in one of those last two. Like, don't get it wrong. Breeze, accolades wise, he has a Super Bowl, and if he gets another one, he'll definitely be top 2. Maybe even top 3. He'll definitely be top 3, if you ask me. Breeze will be top 3 along with Peyton and Brady. And those guys, and for me, Peyton and Brady, just for those Patriots fans out there, they're interchangeable. Brady and Peyton can go number 1, number 2. You know, I think, like, Tyler may not feel that way because he's probably not a big Brady fan.
I don't know football like that, so I'm seeing bias to mine.
Yeah. But Brady and Peyton can go and be interchangeable. So I do think Breeze is up there, and I'll go Unitas for my 5th spot. Johnny Unitas, Baltimore Colts quarterback.
I like that.
So
I like that. Yeah, my son nice with it. All right, anyway. Let's get on to the last football topic we got. We're gonna talk about Odell Beckham. How do you feel about his recent interview that he had that was on ESPN?
I thought it was uncalled for. I thought it was disrespectful to his
I remember
teammates.
You was going hard.
I thought it was disrespectful to his teammates. And I think Stephen A said it best, where his teammates haven't had the easiest ride with him either. Odell has cost him games before, has cost him yardage before, has cost him a lot of stuff before. And his teammates don't go out and say, I think that he's the problem. For Odell to go out there and say that his teammate's the problem, he don't like New York, nigga, you just signed an extension with them. If you didn't like New York, you didn't have to do that.
You should have said it before you got the extension.
Exactly.
You only have 1 year left in your contract.
You play this year out, you ain't got to be in New York. You could be right in LA where you like the sun.
LA,
right.
Right.
You could be right with the Rams. That'd be a crazy team, by the way. I don't know if Odell on that team. GG's to the rest of.
Don't do that.
The Warriors, the Warriors of the NFL and shit.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So keep him where he at. But man, I just think that for Eli, look, me and you both know Eli has hit the decline button so fast, and we know he's not the same Eli. But you know, Eli's not to blame for everything. You know, you can put the blame on Eli, but also put the blame on the old line. Put the blame on some of the defense. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, at the same time, like I don't agree with what Odell did, but like, if we're gonna talk about that, I mean, they've done so much to try and keep Eli though, and none of it's working. They got a running back. They've drafted offensive line, and it's not good enough. I mean, he's still.
Eli's definitely the
problem. I think Eli, he has to perform better.
He does, and I don't think he can. I think Eli's past his peak where he can honestly perform at a high level, and that's okay. But the Giants have to lay in the bed they made. They chose to draft a running back. They chose to not bench Eli last year. Their backup quarterback, Davis Webb, who was supposed to succeed Eli after Eli finished, he's with the Jets on the practice squad. So they're laying in the bed they made. You know what I'm saying? They could have took Sam Darnold. They could have took Josh Rosen.
They definitely should have taken a quarterback.
QB. And that's no indictment on Saquon.
Even if you even if you wanted to start Eli this year, I mean, look at Patrick Mahomes. He's coming. This isn't his rookie season. He sat last season. He's playing great this season. I feel like, they could have still started Eli
and benefited off that exactly. Exactly, and they didn't even have to wait till next year to start the rookie. They could have waited 4 or 5 games till you see what's happening right now. And right now would be the perfect time. But not an indictment on Saquon. Saquon is a great running back. He's big. He has every tool. He's probably the best running back prospect we've ever seen. But you gotta go priorities first. And Eli Manning, even last year when he was playing before he got benched, he was playing horrible then too. But the fans, they're like, oh, that's Eli. We gotta treat him with more respect. Now you're treating him with more respect, and it's resulting in L's. Odell still doesn't have the right to go talk, their business. They're like a family.
Yeah,
you know what? If me and you, we brothers, right? And we got the same mom, and we arguing with mommy every day, you feel me? But we going to school and saying what we arguing about, right? To other niggas who don't even care, but they'll just spread our business. Like, that's crazy. That's the equivalent to Odell going to the media and telling them everything that goes on in the locker room. It's just a shame that Odell still stoops down to the level he hasn't learned how to be a leader yet. He has to be better. He has to be a better person.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous that, don't get me wrong, Odell is one of the best receivers in the league. But I don't think he's going to be able to. I don't think Odell's going to be able to win anything because he's a drama queen and he's about himself. He's literally complaining because he's not getting enough touches. And he sees AB do it, and AB starts getting touches. He wants to have the flashy play. So sometimes I want to go over the top. Why? You just want to you want to have that star, that spotlight. You just want to be known.
And as you
mean,
seen
that is
on
bigger
Sunday,
than that. It's
exactly.
team sport.
And I don't know if you've seen Sterling Shepard, but Sterling Shepard had like a panic attack too on the sideline. Like you're rubbing off on your teammates. And there's not a way to play the game. You're not a leader. You're not contributing in any other way. But you know, stats wise, you had a big game this week. You still lost. It's still in a losing effort. You see what that happened? You got the touches you wanted. You got the touches you wanted. You threw a touchdown pass. You caught the pass. You caught your first receiving touchdown. You still lost. No matter how many times they throw the ball to you, the problem is always going to be something else. There's always going to be another problem with your team. You're not in a position to win. That's because they don't have enough leaders on that team. And now I'm chalking it down to that because Odell, you know, like as a star player in the league, you look at every other star player, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, all these guys are leaders. They're leaders for their teams. You know, Odell, he hasn't followed that recipe to become a leader, and I don't think he ever will. I think he's just who he is. He's a prima donna, and he's even said a couple years ago in an interview that he's not a leader. So, you know, it's just a lot of stuff going on.
I don't know. That's the whole ordeal. I think Odell just needs to relax, and I don't think he should go to the media. I feel like that whole going to the media shit's corny. Just in general, I don't care who it is. If you're a superstar player, you shouldn't be going to the media talking about I need more touches. I mean, that's something you go talk to your coach, your quarterback. You go talk to them people. You don't go talk to the media. It just makes your team look bad now. Everyone on your team looking at you like you're the bad guys. It's not the right thing to do.
Exactly. I agree with you. So I mean, like, yeah, we oh wow, the coach just took the lead. That's heartbreaking.
Hey,
that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, no, that's not heartbreaking.
Shut up.
That's great.
I ain't asked you to speak. Anyway,
my bad.
Damn. I want looking at this really heavy too, as well as I. You know, a couple days ago on YouTube, DJ Academics, he posted on Vic Mensa at the BET Awards cypher, like, you know, dissing X after he passed away. You know, and I know I have strong feelings. With his mom was there too. Exactly, and I know I have strong feelings about talking about the deceased when they don't have the opportunity to defend themselves. But you tell me how you feel about Vic Mensa saying that.
I mean, that nigga just clout chasing. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, we can get real now, nigga. We can get real.
He don't get me wrong. Like, the message he was trying to send, I like, but the way he went about it was fucked up. Like, if you're gonna come at people, if you're gonna come at women abusers, don't come at a nigga that can't defend himself, or someone like you say he was trying to fix his life.
Yeah.
I mean, no one in this world right now can say they've been perfect their whole life. I mean, Vic Mensa's probably done some fucked up shit too.
Vic Mensa's the same nigga. Vic Mensa's the same nigga who went on Everyday Struggle about to smack
some shit that he choked his girl.
Yo, the same nigga who went on Everyday, before we even get to his personal life, for somebody who claims taking a high road is what it's about, he went on to Everyday Struggle and threatened to beat up academics. Yo, bro, what about taking a high road? What about being a better person? I don't give a fuck what academics said about your man. It's about being a bigger person. X fell victim to a lot of the same stuff Vic Mensa fell victim to when it came to academics. Somebody talking about something else, somebody trying to test him. Don't get it wrong, X wasn't one of those guys going out starting trouble. Him and his girl, those are alleged, you know, criminal thing. They're not something that's been proven. So, you know, maybe most likely he did it, or if he didn't do it, it don't matter no more. He's gone off this earth, and the girl seems to have chosen to forgive him. Who am I not to forgive him, bro? I know I've done some fucked up shit in my life. I know you've done some fucked up shit before. I've done some crazy, it's not fucked up like that, but you know, you feel me? Like, we've done some questionable shit before in our life. You know, we're not all perfect. We all gotta work. We all gotta work hard at becoming better people. But you know, one thing I can say about X is different than what I can say about Tekashi or what I can say about Trippie Redd, is that X was trying to change his life. X was trying to take the step forward to become a better person. So, you know, I just disagree. That shit is so weak to me. What Vic mentioned, that shit is so fucking weak. And he's not even a tough nigga. He's not like he got great music. He's just a weak ass nigga to me, bro. Like, and excuse my language, but
talk your shit.
That nigga a weak ass nigga for real, bro. Like, you know, he never slapped. Look, if I'm gonna go and say I'm gonna slap the shit out of somebody, I'm gonna slap the shit out of them. I don't give a, like, I'm gonna slap the shit out of them. I'm not gonna go up to the show and say I'm gonna smack the shit out of you. I was gonna smack. No, nigga, you in front of me right now, smack. He didn't do that. Nigga's a pussy. He's a clout chaser. I've heard his name way too much in the past couple months for it to ever be like he don't put out good music. He's pretty trash. So I mean, RIP X, man. RIP X. I'm not the biggest X fan, but I know that nigga was trying to get his life right. I know he was a good dude inside of all that extra, extracurricular shit, bro. RIP X, bro. That nigga's weak, bro. That nigga's a weak person, bro. For real.
And I feel like if he felt like that about niggas that hit women, I mean, he should have came at Joe Budden or some shit.
Right.
I mean, and like I said, I've heard that. I don't know if it's true or not. I've heard that he even choked his girl. So, nigga, come at yourself first before you try to check other niggas. That don't even make sense.
Exactly.
If that's true, I don't know. If
it's a lot of niggas that has been alleged to beat their girl. A lot of niggas in the rap game. I want to see if you gonna come at them. You come at a dead nigga, bro. Like, shit is so sad. But Vic Mensa, bro, from jump, I knew since he went on Everyday Struggle.
By the way, I just want to say we're not condoning domestic violence.
Yeah, that shit. Yeah, that's so weak too. Like, if Vic Mensa's weak, any nigga who put his hands on a female is weaker, bro. But so much weaker. That shit is so low. But you gonna hit a female, you better be able to deal with a nigga if he come up. But for real, that shit is it's all weak. That whole shit is weak. Like, but in terms of X, like I said, it was alleged, so it wasn't proven. You know what I'm saying? So Vic Mensa shouldn't even be opening his mouth about somebody who's dead unless you got something, good to say. Unless the nigga's a murderer or something. Last time I checked, X didn't kill nobody. X wasn't out there massacring people. So, RP X, bro. That's one of the young kings who will live on forever through the eyes of this generation. He has a lot of fans from this generation. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we all love X. You feel me? And we all start listening to it. Like, after he died, I started listening to him a little more, and I'm sure you did too, bro. His music always had a deeper message. He's gonna be well missed. Fuck Vic Mensa. That's all I gotta say, bro. This nigga's a clown. I don't know. That's all I gotta say.
I agree. That nigga needs to choose better ways of going about it.
And
especially in a situation like that,
exactly.
With mine in the crowd.
And I think that's it, right? We're gonna wrap it up.
Oh no. We're gonna talk about one last. This is the last topic, y'all. I wanna, cause I mean, you watched. Never mind. That's it, y'all. Let me stop.
Nah, go ahead.
I mean, you did watch the fight. I didn't watch the fight. How do you feel? What happened with Conor and Speed? What happened with that one, T?
We're gonna talk about the antics after the fight. Well, let me bring up the fight a little bit. Whatever I thought was gonna happen happened. I told you that Khabib is a master on the ground. Nigga used to wrestle grizzly bears. He used to wrestle grizzly bears as a kid. Like, I wouldn't even look at him if I was walking down the street. I'm good, love. But
like you said, nigga, that's not tough. That's stupid.
Standing up, Conor would have dominated Khabib. Khabib caught him with one left, and that's because Conor was expecting a takedown. But otherwise, Conor would have beat the crap out of him standing up. Khabib took the fight to the ground, the only place he knew where he could win the fight. From there on, he dominated Conor, dominated Conor. Until he made him submit. That right there was so weak to me from Conor. Conor's a guy who talks a lot of shit. He's one of my favorite fighters. But you don't tap out, bro. You tapped out once before. That's a weak move, bro. You can't tap out. But let's talk about after the fight. After Khabib won, he got into a jawing match with Conor's training partner, Dylan Dennis. Dylan Dennis is a judo god. He's a ground god. He's one of those guys who really expertise is the ground game. Just like Khabib. Khabib went out there, got flexed on by Conor. You could beat Conor, but you can't beat his training partner. That's just weird to me. In the midst of him going out there and fighting his training partner, some guy with a red shirt came up and snuck Conor with a two-piece from behind. Then knock him out. Nigga got some weak hands. But
yeah, he hit that stupid nigga. Yo, when he hit that nigga, he started grunting, right?
Huh?
He had to. That nigga said, He started grunting, bro. He had to.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Nah, I mean, he ain't knocked the nigga out.
He hopped the fence.
Yeah.
Now, if he'd have knocked that nigga out, bro,
that'd have been crazy.
Top over the fence and
I know we was just talking RIP X, but we all remember when X was on stage and he got slumped. Like, that's
niggas is foul. I don't want to be in the stream no more.
Hey, chill. I said RIP, bro. I showed him his respect. I showed him his respect.
Wow.
But yeah, so the guy came in the ring, punched Conor McGregor. I just think it was completely uncalled for. But as I said, I can't really say nothing. Conor threw a whole fucking chair into a bus, injured a couple people, permanently injured those guys. It's not right. This is personal beef. This is gonna go way beyond the fight game, and I'm just happy no one got injured that night. It's just a black mark for the UFC and everything they stand for, because they don't condone that kind of violence. So
what do you think should happen to Khabib?
I don't think nothing should happen to him.
I know we was talking about it the first, like the right after half. I felt like
Oh,
initially because of how big that shit was. I felt
yeah, I
like
think he should have got because
like disqualified.
exactly that's one of the biggest events of all time in UFC history. He should have got like disqualified, or at least the belt stripped away from him. Not saying that the belt should have went to Conor, but at least the belt stripped because you know you don't do that. You have the most people watching in UFC. Like you have the most people. Like you don't do that kind of shit right there. That's just disrespectful to the brand and the people who pay you money. So. Yeah, I think Khabib should have been disqualified definitely from. But in terms of long-term suspension, like 6, 7, I don't think he should get any suspension. Conor did worse than him. Let's be honest. You know, Conor did worse than him. Conor injured people.
Yeah, it didn't happen for no reason.
Exactly. They all had their reasons though. You feel me? They all had their reasons why they did it. You know, Conor threw the chair inside the bus because they was bullying his mans. You know, Khabib went over that because he claims Conor was talking about his religion and all this. You know, and that's what Conor does to sell the fight. But like you said earlier, you made a good point. Khabib did a great fucking job of selling the next fight because I'm sure as hell tuning in. I don't even care if it's a loss. I'm waiting for after the fight. Like we waiting for after the fight. So you know, like that was a good point by you. But man, it was just a black mark in UFC history. I enjoy seeing it. You know, we from the hood. You feel me? So that shit was fun to me. But a lot of niggas didn't see it as fun, and I agree. A lot of people could have got injured, including fans. So that was sad to see. But good win by Khabib, man. He dominated Conor. Conor, get better with the ground defense. Even if you do get better, this nigga's too skilled, so I don't even know how you gonna win. But box him. If you box him, you'll win. But yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. That's it for the stream, y'all. Unless Tyler, you got something to say?
No, I think we're done here.
That's it for the stream. That's it for the stream, y'all. Thank you for whoever tuned in and watched us every day. Thank you for whoever does watch us every day. We appreciate the support. We love you guys. Remember, when you come into the stream, remember to like, comment, subscribe. Also, subscribe to my channel, Novaciane Gaming, and Ty's channel, TyThaGoat. It'll be in the description. And just when you come in here, just make sure you tell us what we know, what we're doing wrong, what you think we can do better, what you think we did good on. We appreciate all the output. We appreciate everybody who subscribed to our or who followed us on Instagram. I'm gonna try to make that Facebook page this week. Thank you, baby. Great show. Appreciate that. Like I said, we appreciate Traffic and Dara. These two are our main people who come and watch us. We appreciate everybody. We expect to get better. Thanks, like I say, guys. After every episode, we expect to get better. And today we haven't streamed in 4 days, so it's kind of a rusty show. But we made sure we got in all the key points and everything. So till tomorrow, or wait, till Friday rather, we're out. See you guys later. Ty, say your farewells. We'll see you guys later.
Thank you, like you.
We out.